What's up everyone? So today's video, I'm going to go into a lot of details on how I was able to afford this Lotus Evora. There have been a ton of comments on the channel asking what I do for a living, how I was able to afford this car at just 24 years old. And so I'd like to go into a lot of details on that. I'll start off with my childhood, what I learned growing up and how that's translated to being an adult now, how the decisions that I've made have allowed me to purchase this car. And hopefully this video will open up some of your own eyes so that way you can view maybe some life changes that you can make to afford your dream car as well. Alright, so growing up I came from a pretty typical middle-class family. My mom stayed at home to raise us while my dad went off to work every day. So for a family of four, we were living off of one income and able to afford the essentials and some toys as well. So as a kid, my brother and I were far from being spoiled. If there was something that we wanted, like a new bike or a new skateboard, it went on either a birthday list or a Christmas list, because my parents didn't want to teach us that you could just get anything you wanted, anytime you wanted it. And it made it that much more special when we finally got, something on that list and we got to unwrap it and see it for the first time. It just made, getting something that much more appreciative of being able to, get whatever present that was. We had nice toys growing up, starting with RC cars, skateboards, our bicycles, and even our dirt bikes. And our parents always taught us to treat our toys with a lot of care and be very responsible with them. So if we broke something on purpose or we were being very irresponsible and the toy got damaged somehow, we would not be getting a replacement. But if we wore them out from normal use, so like skateboard wheels or a hockey stick, playing out in the street or something, then we could talk about a replacement because we were using that toy as it should be. And that's what our parents really wanted us to do. If they bought us something, it should be used and not just sitting in the garage or something. If we wore it out, then we could talk about getting a replacement because that's what the toy was for. It was, to get played with and do whatever, it was meant to do. And we had friends growing up who would break things just for fun and get a new replacement the next day, which doesn't teach a kid anything about, responsibility and taking care of your items. Also, as a kid, I did not have an allowance, and I'm so glad that my parents did not do that. I think that being a kid and having spending money given to you each week, and that's the key word in an allowance, is spending money, and I'll touch back on that in a little bit here. And just having this money handed out to you, and you expecting a sum of money each week with no hard work on the kid's end, it just doesn't make sense to me. And the whole idea of an allowance is that it's spending money, which I just mentioned. It's not savings money that's going into the bank. When I was 7 or 8 years old, my parents opened up a bank account for me, and every time I earned money growing up, it went straight into that bank account. So I've been saving for 17 years, and what I find is that people don't have the mentality to save like I do. With an allowance, again, as you're spending money, kids don't learn to save it. They spend it on whatever they want right now, and they don't think about something that could be more important. Their parents say, here's your $20 for the week, go spend it on what you want to. And that doesn't teach kids the mentality of, oh, I actually need to save my money, I need to put it in the bank and be able to, have a good chunk of money. That way, if something happens or there's something more substantial in your life that you want to purchase, you're not going to have the money if you just go and spend it every single week. So the first thing that I ever bought completely by myself was a BMX bike back when I was about 13 years old. I had a mountain bike that I had got as a present years before, but when you're 13 years old and you're watching the X Games and all those guys, a BMX bike is something that I really wanted at the time. And my parents told me that if that was something that I truly wanted to buy, I had to save up for it. I had to work on selling my current bike and make that transition happen. I was mowing neighbors' lawns, I was doing household chores, I was dog sitting, anything to earn that money and save it to buy that BMX bike. So when I finally saved up about $200, I went to the store and I made my first purchase. I wasn't spending it every single week on whatever I wanted to. I made a goal, and I was so happy and so excited when that day came. And sure, $200, it doesn't sound like much, but when you're 13 and you don't have a job, you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to come up with ideas on how to earn that money, and you also have to have the mentality to save that money. and not, see a $30 toy in an aisle and want to buy that. You'd have to think, I'm going to save my money because I really want this BMX bike, and just have that mentality to put it in the bank and know that something better is coming. So a lot of the financial choices that you make as an adult are learned from when you're a child, of course, and the same goes for the lifestyle choices that you make as an adult. Growing up, my mom would always cook all of our meals because not only is it healthier, it's also much cheaper than eating out. So she would pack lunches for us, and yes, I was the kid who brought his lunchbox to school every single day while everyone else was buying cafeteria food every single day. So for me, getting to buy a pizza at school once a month was a treat, and the same goes for fast food and eating out. It didn't happen that often growing up, and it doesn't happen that often now. It was a special occasion rather than a lifestyle choice of always eating out. So what I learned growing up is that my parents saved thousands and thousands of dollars over the years preparing our meals rather than spending money and eating out every single night. So how does all of this childhood information, things that I've been going over, how does all that lead to me being able to afford this Lotus Evora at 24 years old? Well, the way that I live my life, I would say, is completely different than most people. I don't have the latest smartphone or the most expensive computer or even the most expensive clothes. And of course, I don't eat out every single meal. People spend a lot of money on all of these fancy gadgets and fancy clothes and eating out, when in reality, all of that money can be spent on more substantial items. You can put that money into the bank and buy a sports car or whatever else it is. So to put this into perspective, let's talk about how much it costs to eat out compared to cooking all of your own meals. A great example that I can remember from college is in one of my classes, there were a few kids that sat next to me that would always buy a sandwich, a drink, and a salad. They would do this every single day for their lunch, and the total for that meal was $14. So you do the math, and every day for a month, that's $420 for one meal once a day. And then for a typical restaurant dinner, you're looking about $20. So do the math again, $600 a month. A breakfast sandwich, even if you just got that for a day, is $4, so $120 a month. And then add in whatever other meals and other food you would eat throughout the day. So all in all, that's a total for breakfast, lunch, and dinner of $1,200 minimum. That's not including any other meals. That's the meals that I just told you, $1,200 a month. $1,200 is a lot of money. That's a very nice, luxurious apartment. That's a nice, luxurious car payment. And that's a lot of money even towards a mortgage. So for me, I cook all of my own meals. I go to the grocery store to buy all my food once a week, and everything that I buy is not processed. It's not the prepackaged meals, anything like that. I go and I buy my raw steaks, cook them on the grill. I buy the packaged meat that you have to ball and make your own burgers just because it's cheaper than the ones that are already made. And my monthly bill is between $250 and $300, and that's just based on the weekly sales and all that. So $250 to $300. That is substantially less than eating out, and that's for all of my food. That's my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, all the meals I eat in between, and even a protein shake that I take after working out. And of course, I drink tons of water throughout the day. I don't go and buy bottled water. I have a filter at home that I've been using for a while now, and I can just take water from home. So we are talking about $1,000 difference a month, and that's just on food. Could you imagine what you could do if you could save $1,000 a month? I just listed a few examples with a car payment, a nice apartment, and even your mortgage. So could you just imagine where that money could go? And people at work have even asked me about the car when they found out who was driving that Lotus Evora out front. And I would tell them, even this example that I'm telling all of you, how I spend my money on my food. They still continue to leave work, so they go waste gas to pick up a $20 meal, drive all the way back, and they do that every single day. And they can't comprehend, I eat bring my own lunch to work, and I can afford this car. So of course there's trade-offs, but to me, it just doesn't make sense to eat out and spend all of that money on food when my bill is easily a third of the cost of eating out every month. What I just talked about with food, that's one way that I save my money, along with not buying expensive designer clothes and new electronics, or having things that I just simply do not need. And one of those things is cable TV. That's right, I'm a functioning human being living cable free. I do have internet, however. I'm not that far under a rock, but TV to me, it's just not that important. It's not worth $80 or more a month to me to sit around and watch TV. I don't own many name brand clothes either. The ones I do have were either a gift or I bought on the clearance rack because, again, I really don't care about a t-shirt with a logo that will cost me twice as much as not having it. I do own a few pairs of Oakley sunglasses and expensive shoes, and you guys have seen the shades in previous videos before, but some of these sunglasses I've had for more than 5 years, and I should have worn my Oakley gas cans. I've had those for 7 years, and this goes back to my parents teaching us at a young age to be responsible with what you own and take good care of them. So for having, expensive sunglasses and owning a pair for 7 years, over time, that really hasn't cost me that much. So that's how I'm able to afford another pair of really nice sunglasses. I also have a bunch of nice clothes, but again, I'm not willing to pay for that logo. And I even still have clothes from when I was 13, 14 years old. And it's just, I've grown into them over the years, taken good care of them, and they still fit me. They're still in really good shape. So that's another way of just being more responsible with the things that you own. So basically with food and clothing alone, I save a lot of money, but I also save a lot by not having the latest electronics. People are spending thousands of dollars a year on these items that they won't care about in a few months. They'll want the latest and greatest, they'll want the next one, they'll want to upgrade every 3 or 4 months or whenever the new gadget is coming out. A perfect example for me, again, is my Samsung Galaxy S5. I paid $35 for that phone when the S6 was coming out. So I got a year-old phone that still had fantastic technology. We use those phones to film a lot of our YouTube videos because the camera is excellent for, a smartphone. And again, $35. So that $1,000 a month that I mentioned can go to a lot more substantial items. And like I said, it doesn't have to go to an expensive car. You could help your kids go to college so they're in a better place. You could take that dream vacation that you've always wanted, or you can just get to a point in your life where you're financially secure. A lot of people struggle with money, which is sad because there are so many ways that you can save your money. And you don't have to be making a lot of money either. Just making smart financial decisions will make you build your savings account, and of course, having a job that you like, positive reinforcement in your life, things like that will also help. But just making that decision to put a certain amount of money in your bank every month will just help your account grow and make you be financially secure. So how do I save my money and afford an exotic sports car from everything that I've mentioned in this video so far? What a lot of people don't understand or just don't even bother with is setting a budget for yourself. With my income, I don't live paycheck to paycheck. I spend about 50% of my income on the basics, so rent, food, insurance, utilities, and I put the rest of it right into my savings account. I make it a priority every single month to put a certain amount of money in my bank account. And it really is sad to see that most people refer to their bank account as a checking account because they simply just don't save their money. And then when they're hurting at the end of the month because they don't have enough money, to carry themselves over to the next month, it's because they took the rest of that money that I put into my savings account and they treat it as spending money. They're like, I have this money left, what am I gonna go spend it on? What am I gonna go buy at the end of the month? When in reality, that money can go right into your bank account. You can save that money, you can have a nice chunk until you get that next paycheck. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck just because you wanna go out and buy the latest smartphone. You wanna go out and buy the latest TV. If you're financially smart, you can save that money. You can wait 2 or 3 months. It's not gonna hurt you to wait 2 or 3 months to to save up that money, go to the store and, essentially pay cash for that item rather than, taking out monthly payments for a phone or monthly payments for a TV. It will feel much better when you're able to walk into that store, be financially secure, and be able to have that item as well. And of course, there's other ways that you can, build your savings and build some money. A lot of people do investing or buying and selling products to make a profit. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that's something that you want to try to invest your money, go for it. Of course, there's going to be risk in, losing money, which happens. Same with buying or selling items as well. What I'm showing you guys in this video is something that anyone can do. There's no risk involved. I'm basically managing the money that comes from my job, from my income, and buying the necessities that I want and everything else, and still be able to put a majority of that money in my bank account every single month so that I can buy products that I really want to enjoy. So what do I do for a living? Well, I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology with a concentration in sports medicine. And with that comes a lot of different areas that I could have done. I basically work as a brace guy in layman's terms for you all. I work on wrist braces, neck braces, back braces, anything someone's coming out of a cast, I'll put them into the next brace. So by no means do I earn anywhere near the six-figure mark. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to have that certain $100,000 job to be able to afford nice items. Just everything that I've gone over so far, the way you spend your money, how you prioritize your money as well. Those are all the key items. It doesn't matter how much money that you make. As long as you can, prioritize where your money's going, you can afford nice items. Now, I do have a second source of income, and that's what you all are watching right now. My brother and I have been working on this YouTube channel for a little over 4 years now, but in the last year, it has grown tremendously, and it's grown enough to where YouTube is actually paying for most of the Evora. Now, this isn't something that just happened overnight for us. Without this channel, this car, it may have been a stretch for me. I could have afforded it, but I wouldn't be putting that certain amount of money in the bank that I want to every single month. So it's been very cool that all this hard work, all this dedication we have put into the channel, 4 years later, it is now paying off to where I am able to buy one of my dream cars. And as we continue to grow the channel, I know I'll be able to afford the next car on my list, keep making more awesome videos, and like I said, YouTube just didn't happen for us overnight. We started off with crappy camera equipment, we were making home videos, and now we've grown to where we each have a GoPro, we have editing software for our laptops, and from being very camera shy, it took us a while to actually stay into the video the whole entire time. When we were first starting off, even if a finger or an arm got in it, we would stop and refilm because we were scared of being behind the camera. And with a savings account, that's not going to happen for you overnight either. You need to keep saving. That bank account will keep getting larger, and before you know it, you'll have a nice chunk of money that you'll be able to spend on whatever item that may be for you. Along with saving money and hard work, your mentality plays a huge role in your success. If you tell yourself you can't do anything or you can't afford something for whatever reason it may be, then you're just shutting the door on an opportunity to succeed at a goal. I am a huge fan of the Shmee 150 channel. He always has inspirational quotes on his number plates, and the latest one is on his Focus RS, which I really like. It's by Henry Ford. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. And that quote speaks for itself. If you say you can, you will. If you say you can't, then you simply won't. So why would you tell yourself that you can't do something? And one day I want to have as many cars as he does in his garage. So I use that as positive reinforcement to know that one day I will in fact make that happen. It just takes time, but I know I'll be buying more expensive supercars one day. I just have to keep working at it. I've never told myself that I can't afford a car like this or achieve a certain goal. I've always said that one day I will make it happen, and through all my hard work, it actually happened much sooner than I was expecting, which is awesome. I was originally going to buy my first supercar, exotic car, when I was 25. Now that's not far off, but to be able to achieve it sooner than that set date that I had for myself just feels so awesome. It's so cool that hard work, dedication, and just sacrificing to save allowed me to be able to afford one of my dream cars on the list. Someone may tell you that you can't afford something for some reason, and you just have to keep telling yourself that you can and you will achieve that goal. Because believing in yourself is what will make you succeed. Know what you want, set goals, and make it happen. And don't listen to anyone who says that you can't do it, because those people probably haven't achieved anything themselves, and they don't want to see other people achieve their own goals. As for buying this car after saving up for a long time, there are a ton of ways that you can purchase a car like this. Some will work better for you in your situation. For me, I did in fact finance half of this car, but I have a strategy behind why I did that. It's not because I couldn't afford this car or it was out of my realm of being able to afford. I did this as an investment to build my credit. And I don't see that monthly payment hit my account. That's how minimal they are, which is awesome. And like I said earlier, the money from YouTube is actually paying that monthly bill. So I'm investing all of that money into this car to help grow our channel, make our channel have a lot of awesome videos, and just keep continuing to grow. And as the years go on, I'll trade this in for the next ride and just keep growing. So back to building credit. Having a car loan, which I've never had before, will improve my credit and make it to where in the future I'll be able to take out a loan for a house, which of course is a much higher dollar amount compared to if I didn't have this car loan in my history. And I would also be able to get a super low interest rate. So that's why I'm starting now. I'm setting future goals for myself, and I'm working hard towards them now so that I can achieve those goals when the time comes. So for me, this is an investment in my credit future, like I just said, to afford that nicer house, to afford, that nicer car, and still be financially secure. What I'm also doing is I'm planning already to pay this car off 3 or 4 years before, my whole loan amount for the car. So not only am I financing half of the car, I'm planning to get it paid for in about 1.5 years from now. So by doing that, not only am I showing that I can afford the monthly payments, I'm paying them on time every single month, but I'm going to be putting down the rest of this car all at once, hopefully 1.5 years from now. So that's another goal for me that I'm just working on constantly, sacrificing, I'm saving. I'm already even saving for the next car. So as much as I love my Lotus Evora, we're gonna have tons of fun with it. I'm already planning and saving for the next car after this, while I'm planning and saving to pay this off in 1.5 years. So if you set your mind to it, if you write down goals, you make, set dates for those goals, you will make them happen with hard work and dedication. You will be able to afford, it doesn't even have to be a nice car. You'll be able to afford that nice house or go on that nice vacation, or even buy a family car, have a reliable car you can put the whole family in and even, travel in that. So again, hard work, dedication, and just setting your mind to achieve that goal. To sum everything up, these are the things that I do that allowed me to afford this car at 24. Save your money, build a savings account, don't carelessly spend your money on all these little items here and there. Cook all your own meals, because that's thousands of dollars a month you can save, and just have a positive outlook on what you want to achieve in life. My parents taught me so much about finances growing up. They kept me in the loop on how much a car cost, how much our mortgage was on our house. So from a very young age, I knew how much items cost and what you needed to do to be able to afford them. So being on my own now, nothing was a shock to me. I knew how to spend, how to save, and be able to afford a nice place, live comfortably at this point in my life. I'm financially secure. I own a Lotus Evora, and as you grow up, don't let people tell you that you can't achieve something. You pick your goal, you make it happen. For me, it feels really good to be driving around in this exotic, knowing that I've made something of myself. All those years of hard work through school and college have paid off, and actually finding the job that I have now. not only made me a harder worker, but it gave me the coolest prize in the end, and I'm standing right in front of it right now, making a video about it. And I can't wait to see what the future has to offer. I hope this opened up some of your eyes to make changes in your own life so that you too can afford your dream car as well, or that dream house, that dream vacation, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, anybody can be financially secure. It just takes dedication, hard work, and you make it happen. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you have. I want to see people succeed and achieve their goals in life as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next video.